So, it is Friday the 12th of October 2018, and Fridays are one of my editing and general just working days. I normally do, as I said, video editing. Sometimes I do emails and marketing stuff online, such as doing Facebook, general upkeep of just the business, and then also going out and filming sometimes. This is the same for Thursday and Friday. Tuesdays more I work on my wedding business, my wedding videography business, but also, you know, it overlaps. And currently, yes, I'm working on the video we shot with our good friends Bath Place Music. We're just doing the final tweaks. That's coming as a full episode length of 21 minutes, so these aren't short, these are long form videos, so yeah, I'm treating them more like TV episodes than little web videos, so they've actually got proper end credits and stuff. They're still formatted and they're still kind of done to kind of cater more for a web audience, but I've treated it more like a TV episode. We're still going to give them kind of YouTube titles. We're still not going to call them like, you know, Bath Place Music episode 1. It's still just going to be like a single title, not like a open-ended question or something, but in the way I've actually produced it, I've treated it like a TV show. So we've actually got Dan staying with us as well this weekend. Now Dan, if you didn't know, is part of Phase Drive Media as well. He's one of our editors and videographers and does animation and some of the writing as well. And he's actually my cousin. The majority of us in Phase Drive are actually family members, apart from Adam, but he's an adopted family member, it's fine. He's actually down for music practice. We have a wedding band gig next month, so we're just getting in the last bits of practice, hence all the guitars and the bass amp and everything, and the pedal board, so that's all good. Now, as much as I want this YouTube channel as well as a showcase for our finished videos, and as much as I want these vlogs to be kind of educational and formative, it's quite interesting to show what we do outside of Phase Drive, but still kind of relevant, if that makes sense, because we're all musicians, or the majority of us are musicians, in some form or another, and that's something that we feed into the business. And so I'll probably at some point show some clips of us actually doing music practice and jamming around, and you know, just with like the Bath Place Music video, like with this one, yeah, that's Neil actually is in the video as well, and I'm in one of them as well. So music definitely plays a huge part in it, and it's something we don't just do actually as part of the business, we do primarily as a hobby, so it's something cool to show. So I've got my studio here, and there's only space for one person, and that is me. And so when Dan comes down, he hasn't really got anything to do, or hasn't got anything to work on because he doesn't have a laptop. So I came out with a solution, which I'll show you now. Hello, Muffin. And in the retrofitted editing room, we have Dan. Basically, last time Dan was here, he didn't really have anything to work on, so I decided. Yeah, so you're kind of limited to what you could do.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I decided that because Joel, my brother, has actually got my old computer, which is still an editing computer, decided to just install Premiere, install our Dropbox server, and so Dan can actually do some editing on another vlog. So for anyone who actually is doing a videography or similar business, like, one of the most important things is, even if you don't have any real client work to do, is to always just try and do some form of video production, even vlogging like this. That's what we're starting to do that now, is just vlog whenever we can, just make videos whenever we can, and have as much content as we can. So we've always got something coming out, even if it's not necessarily paid, because people will hopefully see that, and then you're more likely to get hired off of things like that. That's the basic concept anyway.
So this is a behind the scenes of a behind the scenes.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a very good point. So this vlog that Dan's editing currently, I don't know if anyone's seen our Nether Clay Part 2 video that Dan edited. Something we shot weeks ago now. And look, there's me. There's me.
This, I must admit, the one thing that ups my normal setup from this is having however many inch TV as my preview monitor. That's quite nice.
So yeah, this is Joel's got good taste in TV. I've got to say, this LG, it's the 4K TV. I don't think we're actually getting a 4K preview, but you know,
no,
it's still nice.
We're on the course.
So you can play this video because it's me vlogging and me vlogging about me vlogging. See, for your summer business day. So.
Yeah, we can't handle like a full preview on this thing. This can do quarter preview.
So I actually don't know which video is going to come out first at this rate. It's hard to tell.
We will see.
Because you've got some. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know what's actually coming out first. I won't say what the plan is, but Dan's got some additional bits to film for. Oh, hello.
In my vlog, this will be a segment. So this is like a piece of my thing that I'm going to do. So.
Oh, I see. Okay, smart. So he's gonna, yeah. So there's stuff to come. I couldn't, you may have already seen this by the time this video comes out, but this may come out first. 'Cause it just depends on who edits it quicker.
It could be a preview of a thing, or it could be a opposite of whatever a preview is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, Mum's in the background. Sorry, Mum, you're kind of in the background there, but also the dog's in here as well.
Everyone's in here.
Everyone's in here.
Go to my studio.
Well, it's Joel's room, but I gotta say this is why we keep. Well, I try my best. If I've got stuff that I'm sort of upgrading but it's still good, it's worth keeping it for things like this, because my old computer is still usable for editing. It's not amazing, but you've actually got on well with that, haven't you?
I do. It's doing the job. For this little bit, it does the job.
So the main part of this video, as you can see by the title, is does new camera gear make you a better videographer, filmmaker, or photographer? And I'm curious to know what you think of this, because I think I've got sort of interesting. I've got ideas on it, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on it.
Depends. Like I suppose from a like out in the field filming stuff standpoint. Say for example with the GH5, which we're currently filming through. That has stuff like lots of quality of life stuff like focus peaking and the better autofocus, which can really help you get certain shots because you'll be able to tell what you're shooting more easily. Whereas on something like my D5300, I don't have that. So although I can film on it perfectly well, there's that. With that, you kind of get the confirmation that you're in focus. Whereas on the other one, it's kind of like that looks in focus, but you might take it into Premiere and be like, that's. Not actually as in focus as I thought it was.
Well, this is true. I mean, to be fair though, that D5300 is still like an upgrade on that small HD camcorder that you did have.
No question. But
and what I'm curious is, do you reckon the footage that you are getting is better than? Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
Because it films in higher quality.
But do you reckon what you're actually filming and the subject and the way you're framing it is better?
It's slightly easier to tell on the DSLR because you have a bigger screen, but also you have more control over it. Like you can control your exposure, your shutter speed, and all that. Yeah, I think it does because you can control more of what you end up filming. Whereas on something like an HD camcorder, you can only do so much with that.
But this is very true. I mean, like I think that it depends because I think having like the eye for it and having
that definitely helps.
Having just like creative flair and stuff like. Someone, say, I'm by no means saying I'm like an amazing cameraman or whatever, but if I was given like an HD camcorder and told to film something, then we gave someone my GH5 who'd never filmed before, I don't know who would actually end up having a better video at the end of it. Because we're just talking about, we're more talking about the technical side of things. I mean, there is also, the eye, having the eye for it and what sort of the shot, what kind of emotion and shots evoke, I guess you could say, and even in the landscape stuff and like the music choices, the way you shoot something, the way you edit it, there is still an emotional level to it, but I'm more talking about the technical quality of what you're shooting. I mean, if you have like a Red or an Arri Alexa, but what you're shooting is just badly framed and everything,
cardboard boxes in a dark room,
it's still going to be not very good. I can't swear because I want to I was going to say something and I was like, oh, better not. But I think from my personal experience, like this is my 550D. I had this, oh man, from about 2011 onwards. Beautiful camera, still use it occasionally as a backup. But I then recently upgraded to this GH5, and I feel like my videos are better, but I don't know if it's necessarily because of having a new camera or if it's the mentality I've got because I'm excited about having something new and I'm just motivated.
Yeah, I do think that helps, especially with the GH5. The slow-mo can help you get some really nice shots, because not only does it just generally look better because it's more motion in a bigger space. That's not.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's like you can see more of what you're filming when you watch it back.
And it just gives a more cinematic feel, doesn't it? It does. There is something to be said. Obviously, you could, slow motion can be overused, but like for certain, if you're just filming landscape stuff and there's not people in there, it's better to film.
It's the fact you can just film like a landscape and then you'll get a fly randomly zoom and you'll see it because it's in slow mo.
Yeah,
and it makes it that little bit better. You get a little bit more detail.
The birds flying off in that shot. Yeah, things like that. See, that is a good point. So. I don't know. I mean, like for instance, I feel like since I got This is just a Zion Crane V2. I know, I had it all ready for this video. See, like this is just the basic Zion Crane V2. It's nothing fancy. You know, it's not the Crane 2. It's not the amazing Ronin S, but it is lightweight, which is a lot more convenient for what we're doing anyway. And I feel like just having that. I shot a promo for a store a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like the shots I got from that were better because of it. Like, I can do a certain amount handheld, and the GH5's got amazing image stabilization, so I've done all right. But I feel like having that has improved what I'm doing.
Yeah, because you can get more reliable, stable shots by having a camera on that than in your hands.
Yeah. So I mean, I think really like where what I'd say is, like, for instance, if anyone is looking to start doing this, like we're at a point now where we've all been kind of practicing and honing in our craft for years before we even started this.
Yes.
And we're at a point where we've kind of, I guess the seeds kind of taken and it started growing a bit now, hasn't it? We're nowhere near at the level of someone like someone we are very, very fond of, which is Scott McKenna at 4LC Studios. Those guys are doing phenomenal things, and we're not at that level.
Absolutely insane.
But we're at a level where I think we're producing sort of professional stuff. And if you're someone who's looking to just start it, you're better off going for something more like this GH4 form factor, but with a bigger sensor. I mean, this is micro four thirds, so it's not massive. But anything from micro four thirds all the way to full frame, and if you really want to go for an IMAX camera, then by all means, if you've got a 500 grand spare, then go for it. But I think, there's a minimum like level that you should be doing, especially in this day and age. Like, you get people who argue that 4K is not worth having. I personally disagree.
I kind of agree with you after having used it for a bit.
Yeah.
Although it's a pain that if you're trying to edit it in like 1080, if you keep scaling everything down, that gets really annoying. But if you want to use 4K and sort of like you have that freedom to kind of scale stuff.
Yeah, that's it. That's why most. I mean, I think this question has been answered a bit, but most people choose 4K not because they want to export on 4K. I mean, it does. We've just got 4K monitors, and it does look better, and you do notice the difference, especially sat close up. Sat at a distance, maybe not. A reasonably good upscale looks all right. But it's about being able to crop in. With the weddings that I do, sort of as pixel-based weddings, which is sort of, as I've mentioned, is kind of separate but sort of parallel to this. You're event filming, and sometimes you don't quite get the framing right just because you don't have enough time to do it. But then with having 4 times the resolution of HD, which is what I always export to, I've got all that room to play around with it. So several times I'll find my shots like slightly wonky, so I just zoom in, reframe it, done. Sorted.
Yeah, I do really like that. That is really useful, I've found recently.
It's just got so much use, and then actually also as well, just having, some clients might want 4K. 4K is still, I mean, if I can, I'll always choose to export to 4K. And actually what I've started doing now, just because YouTube's compression's a bit dodgy, is exporting everything as 4K and still just doing the zoom in thing, because like you'll still get good quality from that even then. An upscaled 1080p looks a lot better than, standard definition upscaled to 1080. And this is where we're getting way too complicated. But sorry, I've deviated. But I'd say minimum level, what you need is actually probably just a little bit above this. So this is APS-C sensor, and it's Canon obviously. This shoots 1080p. However, what I will say is I would go for a more modern model, because the 1080p in this is not amazing. It's alright, it's very kind of fuzzy these days. It's what's coming off your one's probably a bit better actually. There's something like D5300 or one of the more recent, I think they're on like T7i or like, I don't know, 750D or something like that, or better. So something that shoots minimum 1080p, reasonable size sensor, and then you obviously want all like the manual controls, so be able to shoot with 180 degrees shutter. It's normally 1/50, I think, and then control over the ISO, aperture, everything. That's like the basics. Like you don't need to get caught up in having the best lenses. I mean, it's nice. I mean, one of the lenses I got recently, and this wasn't very expensive, to get more shallow depth of field, because obviously it's a smaller sensor, was just like a 25mm, but it's like f1.7, so you get super duper shallow depth of field stuff. And again, having that, like, I got creative because it opened up a new like opportunity, a new sort of way I could shoot, and I was like, right, okay, and I'm starting to shoot differently and shoot, I think, better because of it. So I guess really to conclude, and I'm curious to know what your sort of conclusions are, so I'm not sort of talking too much. I would say that new kit can improve stuff, and I think it's more the mentality that comes with it. So obviously partly the excitement, just getting something new. I mean, there is, but there also is just having certain features that, enable you to do things that you weren't able to do before. You know, just having better image stabilization means I'm worrying less about being perfectly still. I'm worrying more about what shot I'm getting.
Yes, that's
the ability. I'm getting better color off this. One of my favorite things about this, and there's not a lot of cameras that actually do it, at least in that price range, is if I expose to the mid-tones or even to the shadows, I can pull back quite a lot of the highlights and actually get stuff back.
Yeah, that's really useful.
So it's not all blown out, because even on the GH4, which by the way is still a great camera and I recommend it absolutely, but on this one I'm able to bring back stuff I just couldn't bring back on that one, and that actually gives you pretty good dynamic range.
Yeah.
And there's just lots of little things that I feel much more confident charging what I charge for wedding videos on this than I ever did. Than I ever would have done, charging just for using that. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I was going to say, one of the things I really like about my D53 and all these is a really small thing, but the quality I think is the flip out screen.
Yeah.
Because
this one doesn't have it, but the next one did. Yeah, because Adam got the next one as well.
Because it's not like a massive thing. It doesn't like make the difference, but it is like if you're filming something low down or high up, being able to see what you're actually filming, that was sort of, peeking the camera like that, being able to just turn the screen and be like, that's what I'm looking at, is really helpful.
Every camera should have it. They've just announced the full frame version or similar thing of this, and it doesn't have a flip out screen. Why? Why is that still a thing?
Madness.
I don't understand. That should just be a staple of all cameras of this style.
Yeah, I find it really useful.
It's ridiculous, but yeah. So that's our thoughts anyway. So thank you everyone for watching another one of the PDM vlogs. I think that's what we're calling it. Subscribe for more. We upload all our sort of finished professional videos onto here as well, along with more vlogs. And of course, if you are UK based or indeed out of the UK and you want to hire us, look at the links below. I think they're below. And get in contact. We'd love to work with you. Cheers. Goodbye. Wait.
Another better camera gear makes you a better ring. Who's that?
Can I call you back?
No.
Okay, in a bit. It's all on video.